So, I wanted to give my honest opinion on Function Health for anyone that's interested or thinking about doing Function Health or something like it. So, if you don't know, Function Health is a company that allows you to get your blood work done, and it sends over your initial one. You'll get back over 100 different biomarkers that are gonna, give you a snapshot of where your health is at. Um, and then it kind of gives you an action plan afterwards. Gives you like top supplements and then top actions, and then it gives you a physician's summary. So here's my experience with that. And I'm coming from the perspective of I've been in the health and fitness industry for 20 years, and I've been on my own in health coaching for the last 3 years. And I've personally worked with a functional health practitioner for around 3 years also. So I have already had some blood work done. I've had hormone testing done. Yeah, those are the main things. That's my background. So when I went into initially, what made me interested in doing Function Health is I wanted a cheaper way to be able to know where my health was at. And I thought that it might be a good option for my clients to be able to send them to that as like a first step before going down the route of getting a functional health practitioner, mainly because of the cost difference. So Function Health it's about $400 a year, is my understanding, and that gives you two blood work sessions. So you get your initial blood work, and that's the one that has a ton of biomarkers. So you get like 100 different readouts, and then your second one is like 60 different readouts. So it's not as many. And then with that, you can upgrade, and there might be specific ones in there, and you can select specific ones, and you can see the price to like add those on if you want at any point, which I think is nice. Like if you had a specific area that you wanted to target, or that if you had a doctor that you were working with, so you could do that. I initially thought that's a great way. That's like cutting the cost by about 10 times what you would have to pay to work with a functional practitioner for a year. Maybe probably even more. I'd probably even cutting the cost more, because when you start up with a functional or a naturopath or whatever, you're going to expect to pay thousands of dollars just with a startup, just with your initial getting all the blood work, get all the supplements that you'll start on. Even if they're a supplement minimalist, there's still going to be some that you have to get. And then just the initial visits. And so it's a big investment to find someone, and then you may not like the first person you find, which is really common because it takes time to find a good one. You might get recommendations from different people, but you need to find the one that's right for you. So most people I know have not found the one on the first time. And I know, and within my circles, most everyone I know like does have a functional practitioner. They don't go to just a general doctor, especially for hormones. So it's just you're not going to get the kind of care that you would at functional. So anyway, so saving money was my goal for my clients. It's like, I want you to have a way that you can, get an idea of the direction you need to go. If the blood work comes back and it shows that things are all whacked with your hormones, then go find a functional practitioner. Like once you get like a general understanding of like, okay, this is for sure the area that's the problem, because it might be something else. Like it could be some simple fixes. Like if you find out your vitamin D is low, cause I do health coaching, like we can work with that. That's kind of, we know some obvious first steps with that. Anyway, so that was the motivation, a cheaper option for my clients. That's why I wanted to check it out. And I thought the process was great. Like it was very easy to sign up. It was very easy to put in kind of some initial health info. It was very easy to, somewhat easy. It's a little harder when you're a female, and you're cycling and you have to do your blood draw within a couple days. So it's hard scheduling wise just to make sure you do it within that correct window. But it was really easy because I had to change my initial appointment back and forth because I had to, my cycle was doing something different, of course, Murphy's Law. So I had to kind of chase my own cycle to make sure that my first appointment was happening at the right time. So, but it was really easy to change. The site's very easy to use. It's a well done app. So that was great. I love that. Really easy. The blood draw place was just right up the road, so it's like 5 minutes away. That was easy. Great person that drew my blood, the phlebotomist. Pretty pain-free. I was scared because I don't like needles. I thought I might pass out because I have before giving blood, so I wasn't excited about that. But I was going to take one for the team because I was trying to get info for my clients because I wanted a better option for them. I was determined, I'm going to do this. But they just had me lay down, and she was great. She was fast. Anyway, that's not even part of Function Health, so that's going to be totally dependent on what place you go to. What's the nearest? This was Quest Diagnostics for me. So what's the nearest clinic for you? And then the biomarkers started coming back, and that's when I kind of had a problem. So there's in range, there's positives, negatives, and there was more things marked on there than I expected, for sure. And so everyone would be different in that area. So maybe everything would have been great on yours, but for me, having some things showing in the red, even though from my past tests, I knew there was some cholesterol ones that were going to rate higher, but overall, my ratio was good and my HDL was good. So that was fine. So what I did not appreciate, sorry, let me enunciate, was getting all that feedback at this point. This was just a few days after my initial appointment, and then kind of not knowing what to do with that. So there was several different areas where there was things where I'm oh, what do I do now? Do I need to be concerned about these? Do I not? Because there's just a lot. There's a lot of different areas, much more than what I had before on previous tests. So for me, part of it's my personality type. I can tend to overthink about things. So once that came in, there was a lot of overthinking. So part of me almost wishes that they would wait. They wouldn't just be happy to show you all your results and see what they're doing, but they would wait and have a full picture before they start putting things up. So that was the initial blood work. You do 2 in a row. So then 1 week later, I did my next blood work and then got back more, but then I didn't get back everything until it was supposed to be 4 weeks after the last blood work. So that would have been 5 weeks total that I was supposed to get everything. But because they're a very popular site, because you hear them on all the podcasts, so they're very popular. They're over demand for this service right now. So I didn't really get it back until 6 weeks later. So seeing the initial markers off and then having 6 weeks before I really knew what was going on. And even when I supposedly knew what was going on, it wasn't any more information than I found out on my own because of, ChatGPT. So I just went in and like did my own research. It was actually much less information than I got there because in ChatGPT I was able to put like my full health history, and it was able to like, tie some of those pieces together for me a little more specifically, which that's the beauty of personalized care, right? So that's what you won't get with Function Health. So I didn't really appreciate that initial getting bad news or like markers off, and then there being a full 6 weeks before I knew anything else. So that's my first issue with it. But if you just had like some things that were like slightly off, it would be good. Like it would be beneficial. But I had like in the heart health area, I had like 10 out of 15 that were off. So like I was concerned. I'm like, do I need to go get an EKG right now? Like, what do I need to do here? Okay, so I'm gonna try to speed this up because I realize this is taking way too long. The other problem I had was under the practical advice, the supplements that they recommended. So they recommended like a top 5 that they wanted you to start on. One I think was great, berberine. Then they had another one. Both were in the area of like blood sugar lowering and stabilizing. And then they recommended, within my top 5, they recommended vitamin D. And in my test, my vitamin D was high. Like it was one of the things that was recommended like off the charts. So I didn't think that was accurate. I didn't think that was great, or that there must be something wrong with their algorithm or however they decide to recommend things, because someone that is over in a supplement, then if I would have taken that advice and hopped on vitamin D, like that makes no sense. So there's a little bit of error in their system there. So hopefully even the average person would know better to be like, okay, they recommended a supplement that I'm already high in. Hopefully that would be an easy catch for anybody. Hopefully. But so that was another beef I had with it. Overall, like I think the price for what you get is amazing. I just didn't like just having a written summary given, and I didn't think the summary was any more thorough. Like I know there's a lot of sites that have even cheaper prices that give a ChatGPT or an AI summary. I'm like, if you're gonna, they advertise that they are not AI, that it's an actual physician that is looking at it, and I didn't see any benefit to that. So why not lower your prices and just do an AI if you're not gonna like talk to the people? And then I have a few friends who have done other methods other companies, not Function, that they do the blood work, they do similar, not quite as many biomarkers, and they get to talk to somebody after all the results come in. So I really feel like that would be a better system than Function Health. Like being able to talk to someone it just really helps you get the whole picture and understand your health more than kind of a generic write-up. So that's generally my thoughts. I will tell you that what I did, because I was not happy with, I did not feel closure from my time with Function Health. I felt like, now I got to figure out what to do with my health. And I already feel like I'm moderately knowledgeable, but this kind of opened up some areas where I needed to look into more. So I scheduled an appointment with a doctor that was able to go over, this was through my insurance. I was able to schedule a free appointment, and my doctor went over all the numbers and she explained everything to me. And this was just a service provided through our insurance. So nice. It was free. This lady was very helpful. Basically, she kind of calmed everything. She's like, this is actually kind of, overkill as far as how much they're doing, but overall we know the snapshot of where your health is currently is good because of, and she like was able to break it down. These are just like genetic markers. It's good to know you're doing all the right things to prevent anything from happening. So it really helped me like have a full picture. And then, okay, these are the things that you actually do need to continue to watch. These are the things you don't have to worry about. So for me, I needed that extra step. I needed to talk to somebody. I couldn't just read a write up, and I learned more off of ChatGPT. So sometimes maybe too much knowledge isn't good unless you're going to be able to like fully get the information you need and the care that you need. And Function Health was just like, so I guess I would say it's a good starting place, but make sure you have some follow-up care, someone else to have some insight with you. All right, that's probably longer than it needed to be, but I wanted to thoroughly explain my thoughts there. All right,